there's a house that you can go inside. What's in here? Getting pictures of all the old-fashioned stuff. Those are old-fashioned glasses. And in here is an old-fashioned bedroom with an old-fashioned telephone and what looks like a tuning fork, but obviously isn't. It's a pair of tongs. Tuning fork. You know, on your fireplace. Sugar cubes by the window. Lovely digestive biscuits. I love old wood-burning stoves. I love them. They cook so well. This is taking me right back to Stomsund and the Rorbu. It's now 1939, and we're going into somebody's house without knocking. I can turn this knob. They cut the power. What do you mean they cut the power, man? They're animals. So that's a kitchen, circa 1939. And that's a laundry room. No? No. That's a bedroom with a baby bassinet in there. And that's more like a living room. And that's a coat. And up there is a hat that was once very cool, but is now worn by bags. And that's a shame. They were trying to bring back class, but instead they destroyed it. This is a telephone booth, circa 1935. In here, you could find the local equivalent of Superman, changing from his traditional Norwegian dress into a disco uniform. We're up to 1956 now, traveling steadily through time. (1956) is locked. You must purchase the DLC. We'll peek in their windows. We're going to find out what's in 1956, whether you like it or not. There's a fridge in there. And candles. Now we know. Since we're traveling around through time and space, permit me, if you will, to take you back to 1970. Now, it's common knowledge that during the 1970s there was a brief prohibition here in Norway, and so everyone had in their front yards their very own gin still. Gin being, of course, enormously popular at that time period. Not really sure why. I've always been more of a whiskey or rum man myself. Now, coming inside, you'll see that all of the houses in the 1970s had time machines, which served incredible purposes for wandering not only backwards but forwards in time. Unfortunately, the ripple effect nearly caused a cataclysm, and that's why we don't see them in homes from the 80s and 90s. Inside here, we have a children's room, obviously, record players, a nice comfortable couch, drawing desk, and of course the ever popular statues of crashing planes hanging from the ceiling. Grim fascination with plane crashes gripped the country throughout 1970, and folks here just loved to see the image of death and destruction in their own homes. Now the bathroom was always accompanied by these bizarre cloth bells that you see. Now cloth bells don't make an audible sound to us humans. It's just really a but to butterflies, they make a huge racket, and these were used to scare off butterflies, because there is nothing worse than having a butterfly crawling up your leg while you're trying to take a poo. Now, inside this other room here, you'll notice that the poo room and the shower room are separate, and that is a brilliant idea which has yet to be instituted in the United States. In fact, it seems to have disappeared from Norway post-1970. I think it's a great idea because, of course, when you wake up in the morning and you need to take a shower, some people poo first and some people shower second. Some people shower first and some people poo first. Some people poo and shower at the same time. It's up to you, and that leaves it open for multiple members of the household. Now, in here in the kitchen, we have what many would consider this day to be an appalling color scheme. Browns, greens, and reds on their pans. This sort of mustard yellow for the stove itself. Horrific bright greens and oranges, and that's because during the Prohibition period, with all of the outdoor gin factories, everyone was starting to go steadily blind from alcohol poisoning. So they needed brighter colors so that they could see them properly, especially in dim lights. Now here, speaking of dim lights, this room was designed to be kept dim, and that's because after time travel and alcohol and pooing everywhere, you really needed a break. So you had to have this nice dimly lit living room. However, if you wanted to read, you'll see the gold books there. That's not just gold on the outside. The lettering inside is gold and reflective as well. Lastly, we have a bed in the bedroom, and I seem to have hit the wall there, sorry about that. As you can see, the bed is nothing remarkable at all, but that's not actually the bed. That's where you put your laundry to fold it. The beds themselves are in this installation in the wall, and people in 1970 Norway actually slept upright, like the Coneheads from the Saturday Night Live sketch. They had watched American television, they had seen it for themselves, and they had believed that this was becoming the common fashion in America. And so in order to emulate American society, they began sleeping upright. It wasn't until 1993 when this trend discontinued, and you saw that folks had kind of come out of it and realized that the whole thing was one big joke. It's a tremendously embarrassing subject. You really shouldn't mention it while you're over here in Norway, especially if you're an American. So I hope you've enjoyed our tour of 1970 with 100% factual information about the living situations and accommodations. And we'll get back to you with more information and insight from the past just as soon as we can find our way there. Ooh, look! Right there is a trapdoor leading down to, no doubt, a fruit cellar. And if you were in a cabin in the woods that had one of those, and you read certain pages from a certain book, then you might accidentally wake the dead and have them possess the living, and then you'd have to hack up your wife and throw her down there. It'd be dreadful. The whole thing would be most unpleasant.